Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Bits and Pieces, the friendliest cricket podcast. This is episode 149. We've been talking about Test cricket, India versus New Zealand, India versus Australia, build up to the BGT and all that. But it's finally time to talk about the greatest show on earth. The IPL is here, my friends. We had the great mega auction, and now we are here gathered to talk about the brilliant auction and the excitement and how we can all not wait for the summer of 2025 to come so we can sit and pontificate about if all our choices and guesses were correct or not. Who better to join me when we talk about pontification and guesstimations and predictions? One of the most lovable people in the group. He gets a lot of flack from all of us, but an absolute sport and a champ. Sporting his favorite team's jersey. Here is Varun Murli. Welcome to the show, Varun.
Thanks, Max. Yes, the real cricket is here finally. Or rather, to build up to the real cricket is here finally.
I know. And then someone whose name should have probably been in the auction list itself, given the way some people were getting sold and unsold. The only member from the BNP group who is also a member of the Mumbai Cricket Association and has walked the famed halls of the Wankhede and privy to the office bearers and what's happening. Might soon become the secretary of the Mumbai Cricket Association also in a couple of years, we don't know. But until then, let's welcome Sandeep to the pod. Sandy ji, welcome.
Thanks, Max, for such kind words. I'm a member of MCA, not a committee member of MCA. And a member of MCA, you just have to
Same
pay
thing,
20. You just have to be a husband to a wife working in HUL, and you get the membership.
That's fine. Build-up is
Still that.
more important. Build-up is more important, guys. Don't spoil the build-up. Okay.
Right.
So between the Perth test, while we had Jaiswal and Rahul all playing, everyone was waiting for day's play to end because the greatest show was about to kick off. I think it ended around 3:30 or something Indian time, and then like an hour later the auctions kicked off. So let us also kick off the very same thing. Oh, by the way, this is Max bringing you this episode. And let us start with the team that Sandy ji is most proud of. Let us start with Mumbai. Sandy ji, why don't you start us off? What do you think Mumbai did
Why?
well and didn't do well?
Why is it my favorite team? I hate Mumbai in IPL.
It's perfect that you should talk about it in that case.
I think, Mumbai was surprising. You guys might know better. They didn't bid for anything in the start. They started bidding for a lot of random people in the end, but seemed quite happy with what they had. So they already had a lot of people like Sky, Rohit, and Bumrah, etc. But um, they kind of picked a lot of uncapped players, maybe because they didn't have that much of a purse to pick from. I was surprised that they let go of their favorite Tim David, but got Will Jacks in return. That's a great bargain. We all must have seen how he went to RCB, Akash Ambani, and thanked them for RTM. But overall, to start with, I think this is an auction where I think a lot of teams have have balanced their side, unlike some earlier auctions where three or four teams didn't seem to know what they were doing. That's my point of view. But Vamu, you will be a better person to judge Mumbai.
Do you think the Jacks for David is a good trade, Vamu?
No, I think it is not a Jacks for David trade, right? It is Jacks for David
And Shepherd.
plus Shepherd, right? So
Yeah.
if you were to look at 11 per se, I think Mumbai's would be the strongest on paper. One thing that they have done well in this auction is going back to what they have done historically is like relying on the overseas bowlers. It's very likely that for the first time in this IPL, you will have like two overseas spin bowlers playing for a franchise. I think it also talks to the lack of depth in Indian spin bowling more importantly because I think it was a regular pattern seen throughout the auction, right? Like even somebody like Rajasthan Royals, who are known for their scouting, they didn't go after any Indian spinner other than like Yuzi Chahal. So, I mean, the batting, they had kind of sorted it out like before the auction, added a bit of stardust in the form of Will Jacks. And the bowling, it's, I mean, giving support to Bumrah. You have Trent Bolt, you have Gazanfar, who, like many people think is like the next big thing out of Afghanistan, and actually is started creating a lot of havoc in international cricket also. And then like somebody who is very underrated in T20 cricket, Mitch Santner, like probably one of the best 20 finger spinners around. So I mean, brilliant level, but how they go about will all depend on how the dressing room environment is going to be. That's not going to be like an easy task given what we saw last season.
Yeah, you're right because their batting was completely Indian, right? They had a full top five Indian batting already that they retained, so they just didn't have to spend that. But imagine this: you go to Wankhede and you have to face Chahar, Bolt, Bumrah at the Wankhede. That is probably like the worst situation for any visiting team facing those three. And then, of course, you have Headband Maharaja who will also be there, along with spinner, mostly Santner will start. And maybe they'll play Ganzafar in Ekana or somewhere like that. But I was looking at that playing 11. If you think about it, they'll start with, and they didn't have a keeper. They didn't have a keeper for a very long time, and they picked up a keeper in like the accelerated phase, which is like a very ballsy move, because they let go of Ishan. I thought they would actually get Q. They let go of QDK and all the other domestic keepers also they let go. And finally, at the very end, they went and picked up Rickleton. But Rickleton is that exact like for QDK, like they have, right? So it's a very formulaic thing that they have. They have they have a left arm fast bowler that they bring in. They have a keeper, overseas keeper. This is all like formula from 2018, 2019 seasons. So Rohit, Rickleton, Tilak, Sky, Namandhir, Will Jacks, Hardik, and then they have Deepak Chahar, Santner, Bumrah, Trent Bolt, right? This is a crazy 11. The only thing I was looking is that for anyone the batting, they don't have any backup. So in bowlers, probably, okay, they have Lizard Williams, they have Reece Topley, they have this Ganzafar guy and all that. So they can probably, one bowler, if Trent Bolt gets injured, they can probably do something. Or Deepak Chahar for sure will get injured. He's
They have
never played
top
So
16
Deepak
games.
Chahar, for Deepak Chahar, they've got an excellent replacement in the form of Arjun Tendulkar.
But no, but the point I was trying to make was they have nothing for their batting. If any of their batters, pulls a niggle or something like that, they are completely screwed. They have Bevan Jacobs, Robin Mins, Raj Angad, Vignesh Putur, all kind of untested names. So this playing 11 is absolute, dynamite. But outside this playing 11, they don't have, any backups at all because they spent all their money on this playing 11 or playing 12 that all the others are like, again, maybe it could be part of their scouting, but that's how it seems. Like if this playing 11 plays 16 games, you can just annex the trophy. You can forget the trophy and just say, let other teams play for who comes up to the final. That's it. I mean, if this playing 12 can play all the games, unless like Vamu says there is some behind the scenes stuff in the dugout and all that, this playing 12 is a gun playing 12. I have no questions about that.
Their best buy at the auction was the mascot for IPL trophies, Karan Sharma. So they have like covered that base also basically.
Exactly.
So like wherever Karan Sharma goes, that franchise ends up winning the IPL trophy, except when he goes to RCB. So that
But I just have a point of view. I mean, yes, the 11 looks great, but I think they have as you said, Max, they have a lot of untested players, and their batting lineup is even, I mean, not when someone gets injured, even right now. I mean, I think Rickleton, it's his first IPL, probably.
Yeah.
Then Bevan Jacobs, again, first IPL. I'm not too sure of how their batting will do if, likes of Rohit, Tilak, Sky fail. But
guys forget first IPL for Bevan Jacobs. I think he's like face some 80 or 90 balls in all of T20 cricket, basically. I was just like reading somewhere, he's just faced some 80 balls in like whatever the New Zealand T20 league is called, and he's got like some 250 strike rate or something like that, basically. So, I mean, ballsy move, but yeah, I mean, like once any franchise is able to retain five Indian players before the auction, I mean, irrespective of what you do at the auction, you're going to end up with a very strong side, and that's what has happened with Mumbai. They've been clever with their choice of overseas options, in my view. But I mean, again, like one Bumrah injury, and they'll probably struggle to qualify for the playoffs as well.
Yeah, but that's what it. All of day one they just got Trent Bolt, and then day two they picked up, and because I think they went for Jofra, but then they tapped out, and they got Trent Bolt, and then day two they picked up Deepak Chahar. After again they just sat, and then all the others they just picked up on base price. Will Jacks I think was a steal. I think RCB screwed that one up royally by not doing an RTM and instead taking Tim David, because Tim David you actually see, and he was found out last season where anything, if it was not a full toss or a half volley, he was struggling. Slower ones and all, he was absolutely not able to get out of the ground. So he was
Even
found.
on the body was struggling.
And I mean, RCB is the best friend of Mumbai. We want to get rid of Cam Green, sir, we will take him. We don't want to get Tim David, sir, we will take him. So that's what RCB has done. RCB has done RCB things again in getting, and Shepard also, man. Come on. Like, okay. We should maybe talk about RCB. So talking about Mumbai's best friend, Varun Murli. Since you're wearing an RCB jersey, please tell us how RCB fared during this auction.
I mean, uh, it was a strange auction because you kept waiting all auction thinking that okay, they had somebody identified or something of that sort, but it never really materialized the way like one thought. I think a part of it was also because everybody expected them to go in hard for KL Rahul and get him, which didn't happen, and I think that came as a shock to everybody. Unlike you, I think the call to not retain Will Jacks was the right one. As an RCB fan, I am delighted that they got Phil Salt. He is like I think probably the most informed T20 batsman in world cricket right now, Phil Salt. I think that RCB will bat Livingston at three. That's how they are going to play it. I think Livingston lower down the order has not worked in the IPL because he is not as good a player of spin bowling. And then you have like Patidar, Krunal Pandya, Jitesh Sharma, Tim David or Romario Shepherd. They are purely in there as a replacement for Dinesh Karthik. And the bowling also, they have, with the fast bowlers, they have prioritized wickets. And with the spinners, they have tried to go for those who will be economical. So I can see the logic in what they have done. I think the one thing that I would have probably done differently is gone for a Indian number three batsman a bit harder. But otherwise, like I wouldn't complain too much about this auction. The Chinnaswamy is a difficult place to bowl. They have identified a certain set of bowlers and gone with them, which I think is fair enough. I think last time around they went for express pace, which like backfired disastrously. This time they've gone for like more swing seam bowlers, who will get them wickets with the new ball. So I'm like quite happy with the auction overall, actually.
And there seems to be a strategy. I mean, they have not taken more than two spinners, right? They have taken Suyash Sharma and one more, I don't remember.
Swapnil Singh,
Swapnil Singh, yeah.
F. Tamar.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, like you're saying, they wanted to take into account Chinnaswamy and go for. I was really happy that they went for Bhuvneshwar Kumar. I thought a bowler like Bhuvneshwar Kumar or Deepak Chahar would be really good for them, and they went for him and got him. Still, I think, I mean, we feel every time RCB has a good team and they turn up and never fulfill their fans' wishes, but you never know this time. I think their middle order is quite fine. Like you're saying, number three is something that they might want Livingston to cover, but Rajat, Patidar, and Krunal and Jitesh Sharma, then Tim David will make a good balanced middle order.
Speaking of spinners, they have the Baroda legend, Krunal Pandya. So he's a sure shot starter, right? So actually, yes, I would say it doesn't look like the shit RCB team of last year. Last year, you saw the squad itself, it was going to be absolute shit, right? And it was a miracle that they won 7 games on bounce or 6 games on the bounce towards the end. But what I didn't get it is just like Vamu said, I thought they would have gone for Rahul. I mean, when they went 11 crore for Jitesh Sharma, they didn't go 14 for Rahul. Right? That's the piece that I didn't understand, because RCB has never had any other Indian batter other than a certain Virat Kohli who has scored more than 1,000 runs for them across seasons. I think Rahul Dravid has the second highest runs for RCB as an Indian player. So that record still stays. Rajat Patidar this year might break that and go past 1,000 runs for RCB. But yeah, that's how dependent they have been on Virat Kohli, and then every other batter is an overseas batter for them. But the 11, if you look at it, if you say like what Vamo was saying, you have Virat, Salt, Livingston, Rajat, Krunal Pandya, Jitesh Sharma, Tim David, and then Bhuvi, Josh Hazelwood, Yash Dayal. Oh, they also got this guy, Rasik Salamdar.
Yeah.
It went pretty fierce the bidding, so they've probably definitely seen something there. So I'm sure he'll be in the 11. But what I didn't get is you have Phil Salt who keeps, and you also have Jitesh Sharma, and they've gone both. They've played 11-11 for each. That means both of them have to play. So you technically have 2 keepers in your playing 11. But one thing, if you actually look, and they picked up DDP at the very end. They picked up DDP. But if you look through the thing, their entire batting is all right-handed, right? So you have Virat, Salt, Livingston, Rajat, Jitesh, Tim David, all right-handed. The only left-hander is Krunal Pandya.
They do have Jacob, right? Jacob Bethel.
I was going to get to that, yeah. So, and they picked up the only current English 3-format player, Jacob Bethel, at the very end. But I doubt he'll play, David will probably play ahead of him because best friends Mumbai and all that. But yeah, fully right-handed top order is something that I saw, which means that, the likes of Yuzi and Noor Ahmad and all that will prove hardy for them. But still, it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team, especially if you get the bowling of Bhuvi, Hazelwood, Yash Dayal, and then supported by Krunal and, a Suyash or someone like that. So it's not a bad bowling attack. Yeah. Last year, we had all written off completely. I don't think you can write off RCB completely. Now we just have to wait for them to self-disintegrate. It's not going to be, one of those.
I think,
Last year they had also.
do you know who is the spin bowler with the lowest economy rate at Chinnaswamy over the last 3-4 years? We're talking about a decent sample size.
Krunal Pandya.
Correct.
Really? Nice.
No, Krunal Pandya actually has been having a very good. Last year also he did pretty well. I mean, he was not among the wickets or anything, but he comes in, bowls tight, and goes out, right? So he's been doing that a lot.
So this is going to be interesting for RCB because by all accounts, you're going to see Kohli captain the side. So I'm looking forward to that more than anything else because
Wait, is it confirmed?
I think that's the
I mean,
rumor
he has to, right?
that
Unless they are going to say Rajat Patidar is going to be a captain.
no, I think my sense is it'll either be Kohli or Phil Salt. I think
Salt
Phil
and no
Salt.
chance, much.
Salt
Salt and all
won't-
captain. It
So-
has to be Virat or Rajat.
No,
Yeah.
or Bhuvi also. Bhuvi might be.
But generally you will have-
if
yeah.
Kohli says no. But they did send down a shock when they tweeted something with Rajat Patidar's picture and said our captain, and then they said, it said in SMAT. So people were holding their breath, saying, "Oh shit, they've announced the captain as Rajat Patidar."
So I think that's going to be an interesting journey in Kohli's captaincy because he had the phase where he was captain, where he was known to be instinctive and very horses for courses. Now he's got a very meticulous backroom staff. So I'm very interested to see how the two come together. Basically.
Spoken like a true RCB fan. What else can we expect from you, Amu? We expect no less than from that. Please stay on that course. Okay, let's go to Hyderabad from Bangalore. SRH also, right? They had they had the all the retentions straight from there. And then they also added a bunch of guys. They added, one of the favorite players from our group that we like to talk about, Kamindu Mendes. I don't think he'll ever get a chance to play given how their, overseas players line up. But it was nice to see him there. And they also picked up a guy called Malinga. Ishan Malinga or someone like that towards the very, very end. It was like the last pick or something like that. But the most important things for them was they got Shami, right? That was not expected. They got Shami and they got Harshal Patel and they got Rahul Chahar. So I think that bowling is pretty good now because you have Cummins, Shami, Harshal Patel, Chahar, and then they can get Zampa in if they want as a 12th.
They got the usual hyped bowler also, Jaydev Unadkat. I don't know what franchises find in him and in Khalil Ahmed, which is what Chennai have chosen.
Don't talk about Chennai.
Vamu likes Jaydev Unadkat.
I think Jaydev Unadkat is a bowler who can do well under a captain who knows when to use him. Like he's a horses for courses kind of a guy. If you use him on certain pitches, he'll do really well. You don't bring him to Wankhede. You bring him to Wankhede, you're going to get hit out of the park. That's what Mumbai did. And remember, Dhoni took him completely apart. You can't do that. But on a Lucknow pitch or a Mullanpur pitch and all that, I think Unadkat will be really, really good. Again, it depends upon if they know how to use him. And speaking of Unadkat, he's the only person who has been sold in 13 auctions so far. Across 16 years, he's sold in 13 different auctions. So
there was a graph which showed his rates over a period of time, and it's like, it's very flat.
One of the years he went to 14. One of the years he went to 14. So
then I think franchises realized that he's not even worth 14 lakhs.
No. He'll come back. He needs a good captain. I don't know if Cummins is that guy, but he needs a thing that can understand where to use him. He's not an he's not a 16 game player. But Vamu, what do you think about SRH? Them getting Klaasen and Ishan Kishan. Again, one of the other teams which has two keepers in their playing 11. Ishkish and Klaas.
Yeah, I think they have had a very poor auction, if you ask me. Like, I don't even know who their new ball bowlers are going to be. Like, Shami at 10 crore returning from injury is a big risk. And with the setup, you'll pretty much have to bowl Pat Cummins with the new ball, which I don't think is his best, bowling phase at all. I think even the batting department, picking Ishan Kishan at number 3, I'm not sure that's the best use of Ishan Kishan, especially what we have seen of him in recent times. So yeah, I think there are better options during the auction. I think one thing that we did see during the entire auction panning out is this search for the elusive Indian left-handed batsman. I think that kind of played out between Ishan Kishan, Venkatesh Iyer, and to some extent I would say even Nitish Rana. So, one of those franchises who have gone very hard searching for a left-hander in their top order to complement Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma. I didn't think they needed another left-hander there at number 3, so they could have gone for somebody specialist bat kind of an option. I'm looking forward to seeing Adam Zampa bowl in the IPL. If he turns up, that is. I really do rate him as a spin bowler, but unfortunately, we've never seen him. But overall, not very impressed with what they did at auction.
Hopefully, he will turn up. There's a rule now that you will be banned.
No, he played for Royals. No, he won them a game in Chennai. Come on.
Yeah.
That's once in 5 years. I think he's backed out some 3 or 4 years in between also.
No. He's been playing the MLC and all that, right? So he's right now the premier white ball spinner after after Rashid Khan.
No, he's a very funky character because after the IPL auction today, he has given a quote that he is desperate to get the Aussie baggy green now. So guy doesn't turn up to play first class cricket. So maybe the IPL auction selection is the push that he needed to get back to playing red ball cricket at the end of the day.
But I will agree with Vamu on this one. While they have the reverse of the RCB. They have a lot of left-handers in the top order because they started with Head, Abhishek Sharma, Ishan Kishan at number 3. And then, but again, that five looks fabulous, right? Head, Abhishek, Ishan, Nitish, and Klaasen. 6 and 7 is where they kind of get lost because Abhinav Manohar, maybe. I don't know who else they can have. They picked some guy called Aniket Varma and Sachin Baby. One of those guys has to be their number 6. So that's where they probably are lacking. Cummins will come at 8, Harshal at 9, Rahul Chahar will be at 10 and Shami at 11, with maybe Zampa being the 12th. So that's how that team is, laying out right now. I mean, they could get Kamindo Mendes maybe, but I don't see how we can come in with Klaasen and Head and all these guys in there. So yeah, that 11 is slightly off in terms of balance, but I mean, last year that's what we spoke about it. We said there are too many players. They wouldn't know whom to fit in. They got that combination right, and after they stuck with it. Here also we're not sure if they can get a combination, but if they get it, they could get going. I doubt if Abhishek and Head will have that monster season that they had last year. I mean, but we'll see. Craziest things, and it'll either become a masterstroke or a giant, boil of steaming shit.
I want to ask you guys, who's the captain in KKR?
They paid someone 23 crores. I hope he's the captain.
No. I mean, Venki Iyer cannot be a captain. I don't know.
So, first of all, what happened with those guys, man? Like, okay, Shreyas, they did not retain, right, for whatever reason. And then they didn't go. Here's the thing. Everyone thought that, okay, Shreyas, Rishabh, and Rahul, right, they are going to be 3 crazy buys and all that. So, they just sat on these 3 and let, our Grandi uncle take KL. And then finally, like, oh, we don't have captain, we have to do something. And then when Venki Iyer names come, like, okay, fine. I thought they would go for him because he was, part of the setup and all that. But when it crossed 12, 13, I was like, what is happening? It crossed 17, it crossed 18. Like, you could have retained him at 14 if you wanted to. And yet, it goes to 23. I mean, if he's not a captain, if he's not a captain, who else is your captain, guys?
No, I think there is a sense. My sense is it could be Rinku Singh actually, because he's the one they retained, and there was some talk of making him the captain. The Venkatesh Iyer one, like I would have thought KKR thought that they would have been able to get him back for a lower price, and that's why they released him into the auction. But if you look at Venki Iyer's stats, like he was probably the best Indian top order batsman last year in the IPL because he was just amazing for KKR batting at like either opening or coming one down basically. So I think it's okay because I mean I have my own thoughts about the prices for which Rishabh and Shreyas went for, and compared to that, Venki Iyer is okay.
No, the price is not my issue. Again, price is whatever price, right? I'm happy for everyone who's made a lot of money. We shouldn't be talking about if someone is oversold or undersold. That's not the right thing. But more importantly, it's that think of it as once you have exhausted 23 or 24 out of your purse, that means you have very less to get other players, right? So happy for whoever is making a 23 or a 24. But now that means you have shortchanged yourself when you're going for all the other guys to fill up your level, which is why in the end they were picking up. And I think here's the thing: what happened? They picked up Venki Iyer at 23, and then they got a call from Shah Rukh Khan, and he's like, "WTF? What are you doing? We don't have a captain, and you've already spent 23 crore on this guy." So that's why they picked up Ajinkya Rahane at the very end. I think that's because KKR has always been the team that carried Owen Morgan. It's the team that carried Dinesh Karthik. It's the team that almost you can say carried Shreyas Iyer as well last year. So they've always had a non-playing captain only. Famously, they had Dada. So KKR has been the team of the non-playing captain.
Brendan McCallum also, right?
Exactly. When he was a captain, he was being carried. As a player, he was there. But the moment they made him captain, he was being carried. So other than GG, every KKR captain has been carried by the team. So Rahane as a captain is not a bad option, guys. And in fact, just this morning I woke up, he's scorched 68 runs out of, in 30 balls or something against Kerala in the SMAT trophy. Guy is striking at 197. So may not be a bad choice,
So last time he played well in IPL and he got selected for WTC final, and Vamu was killing himself on that selection. But once he got selected for WTC final, Rahane started underperforming for CSK. And people were like, I mean, he's playing just to be selected. Now it's the opposite. Once he's selected in IPL, he's playing well. So that's a good sign. But I'm slightly not very optimistic about KKR this time because I think they will have to take the burden of Rahane into the team. They do not have an Indian keeper, so either QDK or Gurbaz. They'll play both or one, they'll have to see. And Russell is a very on and off player. They have Venkatesh Iyer, Sunil Narayan. So not on paper doesn't look like a very strong team. In fact, I would be surprised if they go to the last four.
Early call, big call. Sandy G makes the prediction. KKR in the bottom four. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Bits and pieces.
The champions.
But I agree with you, Sandy G, because Sunil Narayan after last year's IPL has not had anything with the bat. He has played every tournament since then. Right? He has played the MLC, he has played the 100, he has played the CPL. Guy has not had anything with the bat. I think that was like this aberration in the universe, tear in the universe, and someone else from different multiverse came in and played. Something like that has happened with Sunil Narayan. So I don't think he can be the play. He is not with the ball. Is still there, but not with the bat. So I think Venkaiah might actually have to open with QTK, and then like Rahane comes in one drop, Rinku Singh, Russell, Ramandeep, and then maybe Narayan, Harshit, Varun, and Vaibhav Arora, and then finally Norke. So it's actually very much a similar team as last year. If you think, Shreyas Iyer is replaced by Rahane, Stark is replaced by Norke, and Salt is replaced by QDK. That's essentially the three that they've done from last year's playing 11. But I don't think Narayan's going to be the same player like last year, and that was the one that was a game changer for them because they were getting off to those starts, which meant that after that anyone could do whatever they had. And even Venki Iyer, he had that platform to come and score. But the bowling is still good, and they also have Spencer, right? So it can be if Norke is injured, they have Spencer. So Norke has Spencer, Vaibhav, Varun, Harshit, and then Russell will give them. Yeah, Umran Malik is that quota player they have. No, they have Shivam Mavi, Nagarkoti. Umran Malik is that quota player. But it was good to see at least he getting picked because for all the hopes that were on him, he was Umran Malik. If you think of it, he was the Mayank Yadav of 2019, and everyone was like, "Man, this guy is something else." And he got an India cap as well. Same thing happened with Mayank Yadav last year. He bowled 2 overs and it was like, "This is the guy," and all that. So. It'll be good to see if Umran Malik does well.
Mayank Yadav, every 2 matches, we used to hear a story that he's injured, he's not coming back. Then he used to come back after 4 matches. Then again get injured, not come back. So I think he's still struggling.
Yeah, they need to take care of these players. But it's good at least he got a gig, so he'll be around. I think is Bharat Arun still there at KKR now?
Yeah.
So Umran being with Bharat Arun is probably a good thing for him. But KKR's not looking tayyar definitely for this time.
I actually don't think Rahane is going to start in this 11. I think they'll start with Ankush
Raghuvanshi. I mean, he was there number 3, but I'm just saying they don't have a captain. So unless they make Venkaiah the captain, Rahane has to play. If Venkaiah is the captain, then yes, Raghuvanshi probably comes in.
I think it's a franchise that goes with who is there, and they value loyalty a lot. So I'd be very surprised if one of Venki Iyer or my pick is actually Rinku Singh to be the captain.
Rinku Singh, interesting. Okay, let's talk about Punjab, the team that spent 26.75 crore on Shreyas Iyer and kind of kicked off the auction itself. Ponting is here, and it's no surprise because he's got like 5 or 6 of their 8 overseas players are all Australian. So this is one of those teams. When Jeff Marsh used to be there, that's how it used to be. When Jeff Marsh was there, you would get all these Australian guys in this team. Now that's what Ponting has done. But they didn't retain anyone, right? They only had Shashank Singh and someone who they retained. So, but it's good they bought back Arshdeep, right? That was good. And I was kind of surprised at how hard they went at Yuzi Chahal. But I think in the end it was still a good buy, especially in Mullanpur and all that. I think Yuzi Chahal is still a pretty good buy. Pandiji, what do you think about Punjab?
I thought the one team that I loved watching the auction for was Punjab this time because they had a lot of money. They were splurging like anything, and They were really like, but I mean, a lot of times, Pretty Zinta was trying to give her point of view and she wasn't being heard, etc. That was also happening in the middle of the auction, but I loved watching their, this time because they had so much money to spend on, and I think
They always have the most money, no? Because every time they clear house and say, okay, we're going fresh, they never have this whole concept of, retaining, will build a core. Every year they're like, acha, chalo, fresh. This is like playing rummy, Show ho gaya, okay, let's put the cards again, let's start to play. They are playing rummy every year.
Yeah, but I actually frankly think they have a decent side, like because I'm not a very big fan of Josh English, and I don't know why these five. I mean, he's the keeper in their team, but I mean, Stoinis is fine. They've got Marco Janssen also and Maxwell also. And I think Chahal is one of the best spinners in IPL. I really love Chahal, and they got him. Of course, Arshdeep is something that they used RTM for. They didn't retain him, but had to use RTM for, and they got Arshdeep also. So I think pretty decent side. In terms of, I just feel opening might be a problem for them because Prabsimran Singh has played well in a few matches and hasn't picked in a lot of matches. But decent side with good bowlers, good mix of bowlers. Not everyone has been successful in that, but okay. I mean, they were pretty happy with what they did.
I think every year they go back thinking they're happy. Every year, in Punjab, every year is happy. But only when the coin toss happens and they say play, that is when, pura raita fell jata hai. But otherwise, they are always happy.
I honestly think they have had a stinker of an auction.
Really?
I mean, like anybody who in their right mind spends like 27 crore on Shreyas Iyer. That's like, I don't know, like I just got the feeling that at the auction table of the like 10 franchises we have, like 9 franchises kind of came prepared as to what they wanted, etc. There was one franchise which was just going like mad and it reeked of very poor preparation, and that was Punjab Kings basically. I mean, we are having this discussion in the WhatsApp group also, right? I mean, as to why like owners get so involved in the auction decision-making process, and you really wonder whether these owners actually spend so much time in like actually figuring out what is the break point for certain players, etc. And we see the same thing with Neswadia year and year over again. Like he's just so involved. I mean, all the Australian players they have picked, that's like clear indication of the lack of preparation. I mean, I don't know whether Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, etc. have scored like even crossed 20 runs in any game they have played over the last year, basically. So I mean, there is potential there, of course, but I just don't like rate this side at all. I think they will finish bottom of the table again.
Ramu, just because you're wearing a red jersey doesn't mean you have this much disdain for another team that wears red, huh? Okay. Okay. They got Marco Janssen, who I think is probably a very good buy. Like Marco Janssen at Dharamshala, and I think they have a game. They'll be playing some games in Mohali. They're going to play Mohali, Mullanpur, and Dharamshala. So Mohali and Dharamshala, Marco Janssen would be fabulous. They have Arshdeep. So Janssen and Arshdeep. And then they have, what's his name? Vijay Kumar Vaishak, your RCB guy, who they picked, right? So maybe you're sore because of that. So they have that. And then for spin, they have Harpreet and Yuzi Chahal. One thing I noticed is in Punjab, they have a lot of local flavor. There's a lot of local flavor as in Punjabi guys. Like, so Yuzi is local. Nehal Vadera is from the area. You have Arshdeep, Harpreet, then they got Harnoor, Pannu. Bunch of people that they picked up were all, giving a very nice local flavor for them. So I don't know if that was intentional or not, or just that's how the cards landed. But yeah, this is again one more of those other teams.
Vamu is like, just 5 minutes back I've told you they didn't come with any plans. So randomly they were picking people.
No, they are picking everyone who has a Punjabi descent. So, or, has that Punjabi attitude. Like even Maxwell and Stoinis. Stoinis is a Sardar. Stoinis is a Sardar. Okay. There is no two words about it. He plays like a Sardar. So Stoinis fits right into that team. But Yeah, but again, they also have two keepers. Right? There's Prabh Simran and Josh English will open. Stoinis at 3. Stoinis, I think, is a really good buy. I was actually hoping CSK would get him. Of all the Australian all-rounders, I like Stoinis the most. Maxwell, wrote so much about Punjab in his book. They Punjab. Then they have Shreyas. Vadera, I think, is good. Vadera should be good. And then they have Shashank from last year, Jansen, Brar, and all that. It's not a great team, definitely. For some reason, the balance doesn't seem well. But if Maxwell, Vadera, and Stoinis click, then I think, it has enough power for the bowling to kind of do something. But, it involves Maxwell, which is a huge if in there, right? So he's not done well unless in a couple of seasons, except for a couple of seasons. So it'll be interesting.
They KKR have Andre Russell, who's again a youth player. I mean, they have been retaining him for so many years. So I think,
उनका वो साइड का चल रहा है ना, वो ट्रिनबेगो में वही है, इधर भी वही है, उन लोग का साइड का चल रहा है. And then same guy only is there for them in. So
I don't understand like how you can go to an auction with like 120 crore purse and end up with an opening combination of Josh English and Professor.
Exactly. So Josh English is something
that's like unpardonable. Probably the two most important roles in T20 cricket. It's just unbelievable for me.
Fair enough. So another bottom 4 team, according to you, Varun?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
I think
and hopefully that will be the end of Ricky Ponting's coaching career also.
Paji and Ponting, दोनों को डुबा दिया.
Do you want it to be an end of Nes Vadia's auction career also?
That doesn't change, If that were like result driven, he would have been gone long back. So.
Guys, but I always have a soft spot for Jhande Wali Mai, okay? No matter what happens, madam, he will be sitting with her flag, always waving the flag. I always feel bad for them just because of the Jhande Wali Mai. So for Preeti Zinta's sake, I hope they at least, I mean, this is not a top 4 team for sure, but at least I hope they are in like the top half of the draw, at least once. And poor chaps, man, last time they had that whole faux with Shashank Singh. This is not the Shashank Singh, that is the Shashank Singh. No, this is the Shashank Singh that we wanted. And the guy was the top scorer. Or like almost won them a game and all that. We'll see what happens. And if he can have the year that he had last year. From one team that overspent like crazy to another team that overspent like crazy. Lucknow Super Giants. What was so super and so giantable about the whole Rishabh Pant thing, Vamu? Please tell us.
I mean, I just don't understand the whole Sanjeev Goenka logic of like literally like castigating KL Rahul in the public domain.
We want players who play for the team, not for
the
themselves.
Franchise and all that, and like spending like a bomb on Rishabh Pant basically. It's just like the most mind-boggling thing that any franchise could have done. Unless they have a plan with Rishabh to open the innings, this move makes zero sense whatsoever.
ऐसा कैसा होता है? Rishabh opening नहीं आता.
I mean, you never know. You never know with these things because currently, like, they're again another franchise which had done superbly with their retentions, but are going to. I mean, if Rishabh doesn't open the innings, their opening combination, I think, is going to read, if I'm not mistaken, Aiden Markram and Mitchell Marsh.
Mitch Marsh and Markram.
That's like 2 overseas slots blown for openers who are not really elite. So again, not really a good option.
Openers were not even openers. Openers were not even openers.
So I just couldn't. And generally they are over the last 3 years, they have been a very thoughtful franchise when it comes to picking players at the auction, etc. There has been a certain science to it, but they just blew it all away in the pursuit of Rishabh Pant.
But I think if you look at their bowlers, I mean, they don't have a lot of overseas bowlers, so their 4 slots will be filled mostly by batters. Pooran is there, who they have retained, and Miller is also there. David Miller they bought, right? So I think they don't have a lot of options with respect to overseas bowlers. So in the sense, if Mitch Marsh opens and fails, and then Pant, then Pooran, Miller. Miller has not been in great form. Of course, IPL is 4 months later, but he's not been in great form either. So I think, I mean, very weak side as of now.
So this is again another thing, right? So they spent so much they didn't have enough money. So if you're thinking like Mitch Marsh also is one of those Deepak Chahar type guys. He's not going to last 16 games.
Then he is not going to last one game, one test match bowling 7 overs. His already body is sore. Like Australia have sent like 3 replacements and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a
So
bizarre selection.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They have Marsh, Markram, Pant, Puran, Ayush Badoni, David Miller. That's their top 6, right? And then Shahbaz Ahmed, who did really well for Hyderabad last year. They got him. They got Samad, which I don't know what he's been doing, but people are seeing something in him. So Shahbaz and Samad are their 7 and 8s, and then they have. But the bowling after that kicks in of Bishnoi, Avesh, Mohsin, Mayank. So, but the problem with this is if anyone in the batting has a bad day or is injured, they have no one to replace. They have some guy called Matthew Britsky. There's a Himmat Singh, and I don't see anyone else. Like Hangargekar and all those are bowlers. So I don't see anyone who can even go bat for them. Shamar Joseph, Akash Deep, Prince Yadav, they're all bowlers. I don't see anyone who can go bat for them. So
No, I think the one guy who is rated pretty highly domestically is this Aryan Jewel. I think he is rated quite
he's
highly.
a keeper bat. He's a keeper
Yeah,
bat. Yeah.
he's a keeper bat. Unbelievable because like I think they are the only franchise, if I'm not mistaken, like every franchise in the IPL can go and buy 8 overseas players, and you would logically think that you'll go and fill that like slot, given like you'll probably have enough good overseas players to go pick. These guys have picked like 6 overseas
6.
players, and that overseas, and 4 of them are Matthew Bridske, Aiden Markram, Mitchell Marsh, and Shamar Joseph. Like it's just like mind-boggling how you can do something like this at an auction table where there are so many who went unsold.
And Shamar
Sad to
Joseph,
see.
I think they did RTM on Shamar Joseph, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, they're not team on Shamar Joseph.
That was funny, right? Because I think was it the player who Akash Ambani first bid for, and then Lucknow
Yeah.
said we want to do RTM, and Akash Ambani said keep it, we don't want to bid for it.
They didn't even raise the price on him. And they said, okay, chalo, le lo. Tumhar kona, tum loga ka le lo. Biryani khila. So he's still the best T20 player in the world, man. So I don't know why they had to do the whole Rishabh Pant thing. They could even make Markram the captain if they wanted to. They don't need Rishabh Pant to make him a captain. And I don't know what people see in Rishabh Pant as a T20 player, gun player in the test team and all that. But yeah, he's not had even before injury, he was not like setting the T20 ablaze. And so I don't know what to see in him.
But I was slightly surprised that, I don't know, they didn't go for Naveed-ul Haq also. Naveed-ul Haq, in fact, went unsold in the auction.
He was actually, and he is good on those Ekana wickets, right? Naveed-ul Haq is good on those Ekana wickets. So I don't know why they didn't go for him. Because
I'll tell you why they didn't go for him, because they had the wisdom of bidding 8 crore for a certain Akash Deep Singh. Like again, like the mind boggled basically as to why you would do that.
And I don't think he's going to make the 11 as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have Mohsin Khan, they have
Mayank Yadav.
Mayank Yadav, they have Avesh Khan also, right?
Yeah.
I don't see Akash Deep getting a game also, right? I mean, yeah, pretty mind-boggling.
Man, I wanted CSK to pick him up so badly, and then these guys picked him up and they're going to stash him on the bench for no reason. Okay. Let's talk about TC, the team that always has the best auction. At least coming out of every year they have the best auction. Whether it translates to on the field or not, they always have the best auction. Kiran Grandi, the master of the auctions. Sandiji, what do you think about him? Like him getting KL Rahul at that price, that is probably one of the smartest things they did. They sat on Rishabh and Shreyas and picked up KL at like almost just above half that price.
No, but I'll come to your point first. You see auction for him, and everyone I think watches him closely. That smirk that he has on his face every time he does something to annoy the other franchises. It's really amazing how he has become so popular with every buy or every auction. But I thought they did an excellent job in one of the best. According to me, one of the best options for them, for amongst the teams, because they covered all bases. They have a very good batting lineup. They got KL Rahul at a great price, unlike
Yep.
some of the other Vamu's favorites, Shreyas and
Rishabh.
Pant. Yeah. And their spin lineup looks great. They have really good fast bowlers and those Yorker bowling like Natarajan, Mukesh Kumar. I thought they had a very fulfilling kind of option. And
No, yeah.
it was great to see that they had that restraint to not go for a lot of hype players, and they went for people like, I mean, I was happy to see they went for Harry Brook to give them that good solidarity, solid middle order, and they did go for a lot of local players also, so it was good to see their auction.
No, I think I completely agree. I think they've had a pretty good auction. I mean, you look at their two overseas middle order batsmen, Tristan Stubbs and Harry Brook, like they are like next level batters who are probably going to be, I mean, the like, big things in world cricket for a very, very long time. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think the one thing that possibly, I mean, on paper at least, they don't look very strong is in the lower middle order. I think the hitting power is slightly tempered to say. They have Akshar and they have Ashutosh Sharma who did pretty well, but and we'll have to see. And there are a lot of examples of one season wonders in the IPL. So we'll have to see whether Ashutosh Sharma can like follow up the other season. Bowling also, Akshar, Kuldeep, it looks balanced. I'd have personally gone for a different overseas fast bowler than Mitchell Stark because I think the variance with Mitchell Stark is very high.
Yeah.
I'd have personally gone for a slightly different choice there. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing KL captain this side. I think the vibes coming out of this franchise post the auction have been fantastic. I think Parth Jindal gave a very revealing interview as well, and it's good to see people like speak out, right? I mean, where he did admit that like there was feedback given to Rishabh over his leadership, etc. But how they still wanted Rishabh to stay and stuff, and
Yeah,
also
it was very
acknowledging,
nice. Like he didn't
yeah,
throw him under the bus. He just said,
yeah,
no, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. We wish him the luck. We tried,
yeah,
but we knew we weren't
yeah,
going to get him, and we were okay with it. I mean, like very measured,
and
very nice. So this is why I like this team, right? Compared to like on the other side, you have this Neswadia, which is a train wreck at every auction, and then you have these guys at every auction who are shrewd. They're clued in. They are owners. Again, this is one of the teams that the owners are on the thing along with Punjab. They're the only two teams like that. Oh, sorry, there is Hyderabad as well. But these
and
guys, I don't know if they're owners, man. They're everything. They are the backroom staff. They are the chief tantric officer. They are everything. But
They are owners of IPL.
I know they own the IPL. Who knows? Maybe the city of Jeddah also where they were owning that place. But what I like in this team is one, yes, they did a lot of smart buys, but they have backups for backups for backups. Right? Like for example, Stark. If you take Stark, they got Stark, which is a good buy, but if something off with Stark, they have Dushmata Chamira. Right?
Yeah.
They got Fraser Berserk, but who hasn't actually done too great. But if Fraser Berserk is not doing well, Faf. Right? So it is a very proper team. And then they also, and let's say Mukesh is not doing well or something, then they can get Mohit Sharma. This team is just there. So it's a superb team that they have. And even worst case, let's say someone like a Stubbs or a Brook is not doing well, they can get Donovan Ferreira. Right? They are completely set in all bases unless we jinx them and something happens. This is a proper team. Fraser Berserk, Rahul, Porel is a keeper. He was a retained player. I'm guessing if you retain someone, you have to play them. And then Brook, Stubbs, Akshar, Ashutosh, Rizvi. They picked up Rizvi. That was a very good buy. Guy was regarded very high at CSK. And then they have Kuldeep, Stark, Natarajan, and Mukesh to be the 12th. If this team plays, like I said, even if someone is not doing well, they have backups which they can fill up with. So they have a batting backup, they have a bowling backup, they have a keeper backup. They are good.
And imagine in this 11, you did not include Faf, right? The
Exactly.
team is so good. Like you
Yeah,
did
Faf's not
include
there.
Faf. And Mohit Sharma also, he has been great for GT. I think they have like you said, great backup for backups.
If you look at a team like Mumbai or RCB, there is no backup. They look at the bench and then like, okay, you just turn again. That's how it is. And if one looks at the bench and he's like, okay, no, never mind. He has to only look at the thing. But they have Faf sitting on the bench, man. Guy, yesterday I was watching on T10, the Abu Dhabi T10 that's happening. Guy is like lighting it up even there. And he's feeling like crazy. He was chasing a ball and he kind of somersaulted over the
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Guy is like 40, pushing 40, 42, 43, and that's how he's playing. Fraser Berserk actually he has to be worried.
People have compared that. So he ran, just to give a background, he ran to the boundary and there was a boy there who was trying to pick up the ball, and Faf, because of his momentum, he got over that ball boy, and the ball boy got up and Faf went over the boundary line, the billboard. So people were comparing it to WWE move where people pick up and throw people behind. It was
But
too funny.
yeah, man. I mean, imagine having Faf on the bench. That team is, yeah, they have to do something really, really bad. But this is surely a top four team. You guys agree?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
should be. If
This is KL with a
we don't
vengeance.
reverse jinx, yeah.
But this is KL with a vengeance, right? He has a point to prove after being maimed badly and all that. This is KL with a vengeance, remember. This is another 700 season loading up for KL. There I said it. Rajasthan. They retained 5 batters. That's what they had done. They had retained 5 batters, and so they had to pick up as many bowlers as possible. So, Sandy, what do you think about Tony Sebastian's favorite team?
And
I,
Sandy
I
G's favorite team.
yeah. I like Dravid and all, but initially I didn't understand what they were trying to do because, uh, they were not going after a lot of people. I think I'm assuming, being Dravid, they had a very fixed plan on what they wanted to do, unlike Punjab's, Vamu's favorite. But yes, they retained 5 batters, and 4 of them, I think, were Indians. So
Yeah.
they had a pipeline to look forward to. I think Vamu did not complete their quota of 8 overseas, right? They didn't, they bought 6 again, like we were discussing. And um, I feel, yeah, they have a good side, but again, not something that it looks good on paper. They bought Nitish Rana for their middle order. They have Riyan Parag, Dhruv Jurel. I think, like you said, for Puran, even Hetmeyer is one of the very good players. He doesn't always shine, but he's a gun player when he starts going. They got Jofra Archer, which of course we know is hopefully going to play next season and going to take a lot of wickets. Hopefully, I'm hoping for Rajasthan to win, but I think pretty balanced side, not a very over. They didn't go over buying some players or overcharging or getting money for some players, but I think balanced side for me. Not as good as Delhi, but not as bad as ours KKR.
Backups in Fazalak Farooqi for Jofra. I think that's the thing they saw. Vamu, do you like the team? I am not so sure as
So
what Sandy is saying.
Rajasthan is, I think, one of those teams that, like, I think you'll have to judge after the year because
Yeah.
I think they were kind of handicapped. I wouldn't say handicapped, but there are a couple of like very interesting retention options they exercised. I think Dhruv Jurel at 14 crores and Hetmeyer even, I would say, at 11 crores. I mean, I'd have probably not done either and tried to pick them up from the auction. But again, this is a franchise that is known to back their youngsters if they think that they are like on the verge of taking the next step. I think they have retained Riyan Parag in the past when he had done nothing basically. He is now like an India international. I think they'll probably be expecting something similar from Dhruv Jurel. So we'll have to like reserve the judgment on this one, I think, post the season. Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, it does look a little bit like not as good as the side they had last season. Going to be interesting to see Sanju open again. I think that's probably a derivative of what he's doing with the Indian national side. But yeah, I mean, I didn't understand some of their picks. For example, like picking Vaibhav Suryavanshi at like who's I mean, who's stated to be a 13-year-old. Like, are you really going to play him? The answer is probably no. Are you going to like retain him when he is 16? the answer is still probably no. So, I mean, why waste so much money on him? Again, another franchise who will probably play two spinners in their bowling lineup in Vanindu and Tikshana. Again, I'm not sure Vanindu at that price was the right move. I probably would have gone for a Zampa, who ended up being much cheaper, but I guess like they fancy his batting as well. Yeah, I mean the 11 looks quite good to be honest. I mean you can't really like complain like and when you have like opening batsmen of the ilk of Yashasvi and Samson,
Sanju.
this is going to be like a pretty solid side. But yeah, I mean, not as strong as last year, but they'll be there and thereabouts, in my view.
So here's my thing, right? So if like you mentioned, if Jafra gets injured, Fazalak Farooqi or Mafaka can come. Any of the spinners gets injured, you're short. Any of your batters gets injured, you're asking a 13-year-old to step up. So that's how this team is like now lining up. Like for bowling, they have if any of like bowlers get injured, okay, Tushar Deshpande, Akash Madwal, they can probably do something. But the batters get injured, you're asking a 13-year-old to step up. And Hasranga has not had a great fitness thing going on, as is Tikshana. So if something happens, they're out of spinners. So this team is like that 11, if you look at it, like Jaiswal, Sanju, Rana, Parag, Dhruv Jurel, Hetmeyer, right? That six is explosive. And then Hasranga, Madwal, Archer, Tikshana, Sandeep Sharma, and maybe Tushar Pandey being your 12th. So at a starting 11, yes, it looks good. But I think that bowling, once they start getting hit, they're going to get hit very bad. Like they're all very hittable bowlers. And that's with Archer probably being the only pedigree and Hasranga to some extent. Because even Tikshana, Sandeep Sharma, now once they start getting hit, there's nowhere for them to come back. So that's where, for me, this team is, I would say, mid-table. I don't know what you guys think, but I would say mid-table at
Max,
most.
Max, you watch a lot of T20 cricket more than most of us. Like, but I mean, has Jofra Archer been picked more on reputation? I mean, has he been
Obviously.
as good?
No,
Has he been
obviously.
as good since he has come back? I don't
No,
think he has been.
not at all. Let's say
So yeah.
I see Archer playing a few games and then being replaced by Fazalak Farooqi because, or someone like that, for the left hand angle and all that. But yeah, it's not looking good.
Farooqi, I think, is one of those bowlers who is very slingy and his swing is pretty unpredictable. I mean, he controls it, but batters don't understand it. But I like his bowling.
But they'll start with
Great
Archer, no?
bowler.
They'll start with
Yeah, they'll
Archer
start with
and
Archer.
then
Yeah.
we'll see what will happen. But
Why I say that I didn't understand Rajasthan's strategy is because ultimately, I mean, they bought a few people, but ultimately they only bought 20 players overall. And
yes.
that's what you were saying, Max, that there is no
They have
backup.
no backup at all. Like you're asking, and one of them is a 13-year-old. Remember, one of those is a 13-year-old. This absolutely does not make sense to me. And why? Like, why would you leave? And people are going unsold. Like Prithvi Shaw at 75 was going unsold. Shardul Thakur was going unsold. Like you could have just pick those guys up. I don't know what they were doing, but yeah, this is like the weirdest thing. This is going to be a difficult one for me. But from there, another top 4 team for sure, Gujarat Titans. I think they did pretty well. I would say probably one of the best auctions. Sandeji, you're smiling, so I think you say don't agree with me?
I feel that I mean they are the youngest team, but all the years like they have shown, that it doesn't matter, experience doesn't matter in terms of franchisee in IPL. Like they come with such great plans and execute them at the auctions on the field. They are a team that looks like they know what they are doing till the final. Really happy with their auction. The choices that they have made this time, getting Butler in or strengthening their spin with an all-rounder like Washington Sundar along with Rashid. I think their side looks quite balanced, quite strong, in fact. Uh, in a way, I mean, we might not rate Ashish Nehra a lot, and I think there are a lot of people who are in that think tank, but
No, I rate him very high, boss. Speak for yourself. I rate Ashish Nehra. Nehra ji, I always rate very high.
But
He's a CSK product. Come on.
Yeah, but I think I mean, they have a very good side. I think, yes, top 4 definitely for me. I mean, their middle order sort of looks a bit weak, but I think they will manage to be in the top four easily.
I think the middle order is fine. I mean, if you look at and one of the most informed middle order batsmen going around is Sherfan Rutherford. He's been like
Yeah.
incredible over the last 9-12 months. I mean, he will surely start, or like they have a backup also in the form of Glenn Phillips, and then you probably sandwich Shah Rukh Khan and Tewatia in between them. So yeah, it looks pretty okay in my view. And they've got Maipal Lomror as well. So number of options there. One of those franchises where you will have to say that maybe with the exception of Josh Butler, like this was a franchise that has been picked with like a 3-year view as well. Like all like
Yeah.
young going to hit their peaks. I think Siraj as well, I think is a bit of an underrated buy. I genuinely think that given the Chinnaswamy, he was doing pretty well. He just used to have the bad game in between, but like I completely agree. Like you have a bowling attack which reads Rabada, Siraj, uh,
Prasidh Krishna.
possibly like Sai Kishore, Prasidh Krishna, Washington, Sundar, and they'll probably play the second overseas pacer also, Kudzia, and that's a pretty decent bowling attack in my view.
Yeah, this is for like I said, this is a top four team for me. And Butler and Gill, I think, is a very tasty prospect right at the top. And then Sai Sudarshan at one drop. I think Washington. This will be the year of Washington. I think just like how there's a KL redemption year. This is the Washington redemption year. So I think he'll come in at 4, followed by either Rutherford or Phillips at 5. Then it's when the problem starts. They have Tewatia, Shahrukh, and Rashid. Tewatia and Shahrukh have not been having great years. Even right now in SMAT, Shahrukh is just kind of getting by. I saw a couple of games. Tewatia has been a passenger. He'll have that one Jayadrat day where he'll wake up and smash a couple of sixes, but otherwise, he's there. And then they have Sai Kishore, Rabada, DSP, and Prasid, famously known as Famous. But what they have is they have options. Like they can play Kishore, Sundar, and Rashid if it's a spin track, or they can swap out Sai Kishore for that guy Arshad Khan, who was with Punjab, I think, last year. We can swap him for him. He's good, and they also have Vamu's favorite Jayant Yadav in the squad. But then if Prasid gets injured, they have Ishan Sharma, and if Rabada is not doing well, they have Gerald Kudze. So yeah, it's looking.
Arshad was with LSG, right?
LSG. Sorry, yeah, LSG.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
yeah.
LSG, yeah.
He was with LSG, and I think he won them almost. He was player of the match in a game or something like that last year. So it's a good team. They probably have some problem in that 6, 7, 8 area, but I mean their top 5 should take care of things, and the bowling looks pretty good.
That's why I said that middle order may not work. But I mean, Rashid also is considered a great bat. He's not.
Rashid has been doing well. I think Tewatia is the one they've carried. Carried. And even Shahrukh. Last year they, got Shahrukh as well, and he didn't do much. So Shahrukh and Tewatia, I mean, they're putting faith in them. Hopefully they can repay that faith. But otherwise, yeah, this team is definitely looking good. I mean, just like Gill and Butler, man, those two guys opening is a fabulous prospect.
And followed by Sai Sudarshan. Like, he's been...
and Sai Sudarshan actually opened with Gill for them last few games. So that's why it looks good. But that's why it's a top 4 for me. Finally, going to the team that is going to be in the finals, along with Mumbai. Once again, why are you laughing? While Punjab's thing was local flavor, CSK has been all about homecoming. The Ghar Wapsi team, putting together the Ghar Wapsi playing 11 with all these guys. Rahul Tripathi, if you remember, he was from the RPSG days. Ashwin coming back, Sam Curran coming back, local boy Vijay Shankar is in here. So this is the proper Ghar Wapsi team. That is going to be the theme. And I don't know, the trophy will do a Ghar Wapsi, looking at how Mumbai is. But finals for sure will be nice. Mumbai Chennai finals, guys. Come on. Winner takes number 6.
Vamu has a smirk on his face.
No, I generally come out and pan CSK after every auction, but this is an auction that, I mean, I think they have probably had the best auction of all the franchises, because, I mean, they probably, like, from a retention perspective, kind of handicapped having to retain MS Dhoni, and I would say I'd even put like Jadeja in that same bucket actually,
Yeah.
given the tail off in his
And
form.
Ruturaj.
And Ruturaj is fine. Maybe you could argue like, is he like an 18 crore player? Possibly not, given what we have seen in the auction. But yeah, I mean, handicap coming into the auction, but they've like managed to pick up some lovely bargain buys. I think, as Max mentioned, Rahul Tripathi at the top of the order. They've got Vijay Shankar and Deepak Huda at the bottom, like who can possibly like do the finishing role and ensure that MS Dhoni doesn't have to bat at all. So they've had a fantastic
And they,
auction.
they
I think
got Rachin also back.
yeah,
In
the
fact,
one
yeah. Vamu, go ahead.
the one thing that I mean I wasn't sure whether they should have pushed as hard was for Ashwin at 9.75 crore. I understand the emotion behind it, but that's like probably the one mark against them because you are going to play Jadeja, you are going to play Noor Ahmed. So like, can you always like play three spinners in your
Yes.
starting 11,
Yes.
especially with Rachin also around. So, I
Yes.
mean, I think it kind of like compromises your fast bowling attack, but we'll see how that pans out.
But in Chennai, they will probably go with that combination, right?
Yes.
Because they are very comfortable with playing spinners and, kind of not letting teams get away with runs. So, I mean, their
So,
batting might look shitty with Dhoni and all, but they know that even after scoring 130, 140, they will not let the teams get away with the target.
my worry here is none of them are. I mean, Ashwin at this stage of his career is definitely not a new ball spin bowler in my view. So I think that's the one problem I have when you play three spinners and all of them are like post power play bowlers. Like, how do you get 12 overs post power play from them? So that's my one concern with this spin bowling attack that they have set up basically. I'd have definitely pushed harder for Washington Sundar over Ashwin as CSK because he can bowl in the power play and he can possibly give you like a longer uh, leeway as well. But I guess it's one of those auction dynamics where Ashwin came in first and they decided to push for it.
But some players I thought they really got at a great price. One of them is Rahul Tripathi. I really rate him as a great player. Whichever team he has played for, Hyderabad or Pune earlier, but he's been a good, kind of reliable batsman at 4 or 5 who can come, takes at least 4 or 5 balls to get his eye in, but then start scoring at a good pace. And second by, I mean, I was surprised that Sam Curran they could get at this price because I thought that and franchisees will go for him. I know he's not had a very good season I mean, good matches a lot of times, but I think he's a good buy at the price that which they got him.
देखिए, हमारे YouTube चैनल पे लोग बहुत नाराज हैं कि हम सिर्फ तमिल में बात करते हैं या इंग्लिश में बात करते हैं। तो आज हम ये चेन्नई का जो टीम है
हिंदी
सैंडी जी हिंदी में
में
ये जो टीम है जैसे मैंने बोला एकदम आत्मनिर्भर है और घर वापसी का जो इन्होंने फ्लेवर चुना है ये एकदम उम्दा है। अगर आप प्लेइंग 11 को देखो गायकवाड़, डेवन कॉनवे, रचिन रविंद्रा, राहुल त्रिपाठी, शिवम दुबे, सैम करन, विजय शंकर, रविंद्र जडेजा, ऐसा टॉप ऑर्डर लेके और चेन्नई में तो ये लोग 3 स्पिनर खिलाएंगे। नूर अहमद खेलेगा, अश्विन खेलेगा, जडेजा खेलेगा और शायद रचिन भी कुछ। तो चेन्नई में 140 सभी गेम 140 130 के और I think that is going to be the best. That is going to be the formula. Like 7 games, 140, 145, 4 spinners, done deal. प्रॉब्लम यही है कि ये लोग जब वानखेड़े जाएंगे या तो हैदराबाद जाएंगे, they don't have the batting to take on 200. This batting cannot take on 200. There is nobody that can take them to, they can barely cross 170, 180.
We say this every time and then, some of them play and sometimes reach 200.
हाँ
Vamu,
नहीं
why are
लेकिन
you looking at the ceiling? He's like,
No, I am
what are
just
these
thinking
two?
from a playoff perspective. I think the playoffs this year will happen at Kolkata and Gujarat, right? I mean, no, not Kolkata and Gujarat, Kolkata and Hyderabad, right? So this is not a team that
yeah.
is set up for those
They can,
conditions,
they can,
basically.
this is not a 200 playing team. They cannot chase 200. They cannot score 200.
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem is. Otherwise, Lucknow, at Delhi, at Chennai, they will completely boss it. So they will just walk into the top four without even effort, given what they have, because they can swap Karan for Noor on a faster track versus a slower track and however they want to go. But look at this, man. Khalil, you have Anshul Kamboj opening. Then you can get Ashwin, Jadeja in the middle overs, and you can finish off with Karan and Patirana. It is a perfect setup for how they play. And like I said, if they're playing in Chennai, they can get 3 spinners as well. But that there is no explosive batter in there, right? There is no Tim David or Will Jacks or Stoinis. They don't have that. They don't
They
have any
have
explosive. The lesser we talk about that, the better. This is a team that does not have a keeper. Okay, we are going into a season with expecting MS Dhoni to be behind the stumps for 16 games.
No,
That is not
they
going to
have
happen. That is our option. Now then we have to rely on Devon Conway, who is not a, is not, is he a, he also is an occasional keeper. Okay, Devon Conway is not a number one keeper for New Zealand and all as well. You need a keeper. I mean, they were letting Robin, Mins and all these guys just go under the radar and they didn't pick a keeper, man. I just don't understand this. 16 games. Dhoni cannot keep for 16 games. And yeah, that's where the problem is. They don't have any, they don't have a designated hitter. So they don't have firepower because Jadeja, Vijay Shankar, Dhoni, they're all probably going to give you like 150, 160, but no one's going to score at 200, a strike rate of 200 or 220. They don't have that. And you cannot score 200 without that. So Karan, all of them, they can bat until number 9. Ashwin will be at number 9. They can bat until then. But none of them is going to score at 200 and that's where the problem is going to be. So they cannot, anything more than 190, they're out of the game. They can just declare. And that's the problem. So if the finals are going to be in Hyderabad and Kolkata and all that, then yeah, but they'll walk into the top 4. With this batting lineup and with that bowling lineup, they can walk into the top 4. I have no questions there. But the problem is after that. So can they get to that final against Mumbai for number 6? We don't, is probably the doubtful thing. But DC, GT, Mumbai, Chennai, man. That's my top 4. What do you guys think?
DC, GT, Mumbai, Chennai.
हाँ तो आप बोलो ना.
I think Mumbai, I'm not very sure still, given about what transpired last year. So I think that 4th spot, like last year, is going to be between Mumbai and RCB in my view.
True RCB fan. So are you saying that Chennai will definitely go in top 4?
Yes.
See, this is good news and bad news, right? Finally, I'm ready to stop this thing. And he says things like this. I mean, I was so happy when he kept saying everyone is going to be doing badly. They don't have they don't have anything, this guy cannot be trusted. Everything I was happy with. Finally, now he says this one thing and now, scares me out. Okay, what do you think?
So I think Delhi GT definitely. I think RR might be one of the teams that goes in. And between Mumbai and Chennai, one.
Okay, we shall see. On that note, this was episode 149 of Bits and Pieces. We have our top 4. We have also pandered to the northern belt above the Vindhyas. So I hope everyone is happy with our progress here. Until next episode is going to be 150 and we'll probably have something coming up about the day-night test and the Prime Minister's 11 game that happens. So let's see where that takes us. Until then, this is Max signing off along with Vamu and Sandy. Guys say bye.
Bye.
Right.